All right. I just want to share this clip here. It's from the channel called Brutal Honesty off of TikTok. And the man that you see here on the screen, he goes by the name of Corey Holcomb. And he's a famous Canadian. He's funny. And, while he's popping jokes, man, he's telling you the truth. And that's exactly what he's doing here in this clip. And he's talking about the whole Judge Gregory Mathis and Linda Mathis situation. Those two are divorcing each other. And he's just talking about how ridiculous it is, especially for Linda Mathis to file for divorce at the age of 62 after 39 years of marriage. It's stupid because she's 62 years old and she still believes that she's got a shot out there when it comes to the dating scene. That ship has sailed. You're used up, you're washed up. You shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be focusing on your husband and really your grandkids, because you already had children of your own. Now you should be focusing on your grandkids and also tending to the house of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, pursuant to 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter, because she's of 80 years, right? So you're supposed to be settled down. You're not supposed to be as emotional. But hey, man, that's what happens when you're raised and caught up into this whole Babylonian lifestyle and system. When you buy into it, that's what you get. You get madness, man. You get very crazy, you get mad, and you become delusional. And that's the case for Linda Mathis. Now, I'll just say this. I don't know what those two have been through, and really I don't care, because I'm just looking at it from a scriptural standpoint, because the scriptures also says you should never get between a man and his maid, because the bond is so strong between them. So I don't really care. What I'm looking at from the outside is how dysfunctional this is. This is totally out of order. Totally out of order. Totally out of order. Right? So I'm going to play the clip. Now, I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaChodesh. Those are the powers that I do worship. The name of the Father is Yahweh, which means He is to be. And the name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer, or He is the Savior. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS. To you, I say Shalom. And Shalom unto the hopeful elect. Kwame Yashala and Abad Babal. All right, so let's get into the clip.
There's a man who was married 39 years. He reached the pinnacle. Found it. What he could do.
Oh, the word. What the definition?
Now he's motherfucking in divorce court. And he a judge.
And it's probably going to get uglier. I hate to say it, because the last thing
I hope it don't get ugly, because I'm telling you what happened to all these women. This is what happened to all these women. After the streets show them who they are, because that it is so sad that the only person who can show your woman who she really is the streets. The streets always humble them.
Time. Yeah, timed.
Then they want you back. They want you to come. They want you to take them back with a ran through vagina. And they want the exact slot back they had before. We make jokes about the women when they done. They said about Vivica Fox, oh, she want to get married now that she got the snort like a pig and shit. This is what happens now. These women who have been kept by a man for years, when they leave that man and the streets bring them back to reality, they put their pride aside and they find a way to call you and see what's up. Do I still got options? They ain't gonna say that. They gonna act like they did you a favor and called you back. Trust me, I know.
She don't look like that anymore.
They call you back, you can't believe it. When you see their name pop up on the caller ID, you'll be like, wow, what that bitch want?
See?
Oh, here's a man.
That's right. So it's true. It's true. He's spitting facts. He's spitting facts. Now, the first precept that comes to mind is Amos chapter 7, verse 17. It pretty much says, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. And that's what I'm going to focus on in that precept. And that's true. The streets, being the city, is going to humble your wife, your woman, your rib. And they're going to realize that there's nothing out there. By them going out there and playing the field and playing the whore, playing the harlot, being a skank, the city, being the streets, is going to chew them up and spit them out. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to come crawling back to you, right? Begging. And for the most part, man, they're going to act like they're doing you a favor. Just like what Corey Holcomb said. There's no humility in these women. And that's exactly how they act. But that's prophet. The Lord, he prophesied that it's going to happen. He prophesied through the prophet Amos. That's going to happen. This has to play out because it's prophecy. And it's a very, how should I say it? It's an eyesore when you see it, but that's exactly what we have to go through because we rebelled against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai and we're under the curses. So yes, your wife is gonna play the harlot, be the whore, and you have to just accept that. You have to accept that. This is Amos chapter 7, verse 17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai power, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. Wow, so she's going to be a whore. She's either going to be a prostitute or she's just going to be a whore for fun and two-time you while she's with you, or divorce you and then just become a slut. That seems to be the case with Judge Mathis. Okay. And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. Yeah. First and foremost, this is geared towards you Israelites. It's talking about Israelite sons and Israelite daughters. You're going to get shot down by the cops in the streets. You're going to get caught up with the street life. You have something called black on black crime, which really it should be called Israelite on Israelite crime. And you have our youth out here killing each other on these streets. And thy land shall be divided by line. That's right. You don't have any homeland. Really, first and foremost, you're in exile. I believe that's in Isaiah chapter 51, verse 14. It says, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed. Also, you don't have any continuing city because you're in captivity. Also, Micah 2 and 10. This is not your rest, right? So, this place is polluted, man. And it says, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. That's right, and you are in captivity. You know what proves that you're in captivity? You're subject to payments. Man, your wife can divorce you. Even though you did the duty of marriage. Because that's in the law, the duty of marriage, which is her food and her raiment, and the duty of marriage is met. Those three things. If those three things aren't met, then your wife can divorce you. But in this society, your wife can divorce you just for you yelling, or just because she didn't like the way you did something. Right? Matter of fact, let me get that. Exodus, I think that's duty of marriage. Let me type that in. I know that's in the law. Duty of marriage. Yeah, Exodus 21 and 10. So it says, if he take another, I'm sorry, I was trying to read in the NLT. I'll read in the NLT after. Anyways, it says here, Exodus 21 verse 10, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Now let me read in the NLT. If a man who has married a slave wife. That's right. So you're a slave too. You women are servants, man. Okay, you are servants. Okay, and that's something that they don't like to hear. They don't like to accept that. But a woman is a servant, and she's a slave, and your woman is really supposed to be a comfort to you. And yes, there's order within that as well. You're not supposed to just beat up your woman either and treat her like dog shit. You're not supposed to do that. Right? But for the most part, your woman is a servant. Okay? She is not an equal. She is a servant. Okay? So it says here, a slave wife takes another wife for himself. So you can have more than one wife. Okay, you can have more than one wife. Polygamy. He must not neglect the rights of the first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy. Right? So you're supposed to feed her, clothe her, and you're supposed to have sex with her. All right? Supposed to do that. Now, if you don't do any of those things, then she can divorce you. Now, that's what it goes on to say. Verse 11, and if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Okay, so yes, she can divorce you, but she doesn't take anything. Now I'll read in the NLT. If he fails in any of these three obligations, she may leave as a free woman without making any payment. All right. Okay, so yeah, she doesn't take anything, and also she doesn't have to pay anything either. It's twofold. All right. So that's the law of divorce. Okay, that's the law of divorce. And so what you see here with Judge Mathis, that's totally out of order. That isn't scriptural. That isn't biblical. Right? Now, Corey went on to say that, when they leave you and then they go through hardship in the streets and they realize it's not for them, then they come crawling back to you. Well, yeah, that's found in the book of Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. Now, let me read it. It says, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? And that's a question. Right? So he put his wife away. He divorced her because of such and such. She wasn't a good wife. She wasn't a faithful wife, especially. It says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? That's right. So when they go out there and play the field, their land is polluted, which is talking about their body and especially their womb. It's polluted. Here it is. They slept with all different types of men, having unprotected sex. Another man's rod is all over her body, especially in her mouth, her ear, her eye, and her vagina, and also her ass. She's polluted now. She's polluted, right? All them different semens that are in her body, that are in her womb, right? Probably had abortions too. She's actually polluted, man. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. And yes, that's twofold. That happens to man, and it also happened to the Lord. And this is going into our spiritual situation with the Lord, starting with the men. Right? We played the harlot, and we hit those streets and played the hoe by getting involved with the other nations' idols and gods. So we were committing spiritual adultery. But yet, after we played the harlot and we hit those streets, and the streets taught us a lesson of hard knocks, what did we do? We went back to the Heavenly Father. We crawled back to the Heavenly Father. And he's considering, should I take you back? Right? And the thing is, he did take us back. He did take us back through Yahweh Shai. Right? And that's why we're gonna get it back. So yes, you can take her back if you want, but that's up to you. You can, right? But most men aren't. Most men aren't. Most men aren't. Some men do, but most men aren't, man. Because that's just a headache. And that's disgusting, man. Now I'm going to read this in the NLT. If a man divorces a woman and she goes and marries someone else, he will not take her back again. For that would surely corrupt the land. But ye have prostituted yourself with many lovers, so why are you trying to come back to me, says the Lord. There you go. Right? That's messed up. Now, let me get another precept. I just want to hit them precepts. Because this woman isn't ashamed of this. She's not ashamed of doing this, knowing that her husband is going to be in the spotlight because he's not just a judge, he's a celebrity judge. How does that make him look? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter, I believe this is 26, verse 25. And it says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. Yeah, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. And you know what a dog is. A dog is a bitch. And that's why a majority of these women out here, they're a bunch of bitches and hoes, man. Because they're shameless. And they don't care about what they're doing out there. They don't care that they're displaying bad behavior. They don't care if they were a prostitute or a slut. So then why should you be treated like a lady then? I should call you a bitch. You have the slut march, you got the pussy riots. That's what they call it over there. That's an actual rock band in Russia. A feminist rock group. I think it's punk rock. But for the most part, that's how these women act. They don't care about being a battery ting. According to Benjamin, that's what Benjamin says, a battery ting. They don't care about that. They don't care if they were gangbanged by like 20 dudes. They don't care about that shit. They don't care if they did porn. So that makes them shameless. So if you're shameless, you're a bitch. Right? Even Tupac made a song about that. No wonder why they call you bitch. Because you're shameless, bitch. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. That's right. Shamefaced. Pretty much. Let me just see what that word means. Look it up. Shamefaced. Shamefaced. Let's just go into the definition. Yeah, shamefaced, modest, bashful, modest, humble, virtuous, restrained by shame. Yeah, firm in modesty. Yeah, being modest, man. And you know what modesty? Pretty much it goes back to you living a righteous lifestyle. When you go out in the public, you carry yourself in a righteous fashion, man, in a righteous way. Dress properly, you speak properly, you're not being a degenerate. And for the most part, these women are degenerates. They leave the house naked. They don't wash themselves. Disgusting, man. I believe there was a whole, I don't know who it was, but I can't remember the woman's name, but there was a woman, I believe she worked for some company. I think it was either Google or Facebook. And she made her lover ejaculate all over her face. And then she walked out in the public. And then I believe the company that she worked for found out about that. And then she got fired. Right? You have women doing that type of stupid shit out here too. Disgusting, man. That's not modest behavior. It's disgusting, man. But anyways, man, that's it. Hope this was edifying. I just wanted to bring out some precepts on this whole Judge Mathis and Linda Mathis situation. This was out of order. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I'm not done. I forgot to go into First Timothy's the 5th chapter, because she ain't no spring chicken. She's a senior citizen. She's old. And how are elder women supposed to act, or elderly women supposed to act? So I'm going to just go into that. So this is First Timothy's chapter 5, verse 2. And it says, the elder woman as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before the Most High. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in the Most High, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. Yes, and obviously this is going into the widow, but you can follow the same. If you're a woman that's married, you should be following this too, right? There's nothing wrong in acting this way, because this way is righteous, okay? But this applies to you married women as well that are up in age. Verse 6, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. That's true. I'll read that in the NLT. But the widow who only lives for pleasure is spiritually dead even while she lives. That's right. So she's spiritually dead. So a lot of these women, man, that hit the streets and play the harlot in the city just for pleasure and not for work, because you do have individuals that have to do that to make a living. You do have some individuals who are forced to be a part of the sex trade, or the sex, or because of sex trafficking, right? That's what I wanted to say, because of sex trafficking. You have people who are just coerced into doing it. Well, women, if they're sincere, they'll get out of that, right? But you women that do that for fun, for pleasure, you're spiritually dead. You're spiritually dead. The Lord ain't dealing with you if you're acting that way. All right? And a lot of you have diseases too. I would say you're physically dead as well. A lot of you got the HIV, you got the bug, you got the herpaderp, you got the clap, you got syphilis. You're dead. Just a walking corpse. Anyways, verse 7, and these things give in charge that they may be blameless. That's right. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. It's true. That's going into you men as well. You men are supposed to take care of your households. Right? You're supposed to take care of your households, men and women. You're supposed to be providing them. You're not supposed to be a deadbeat dad, man. Or a deadbeat husband. Especially if your woman's doing good by you. Deadbeat, first and foremost, I'm talking about, you being a deadbeat in the spirit. And then also that playing out in the flesh too. You got to get out there and work. Verse 9, let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old, having been the wife of one man, well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. And you know why they shouldn't be taken in unless they're 60 years, which that's being 60 years old, is because now when they hit their 60s, they're settled in their ways, right? And what do I mean by that? It just means they're not as emotional as they were when they were in their youth. She's no longer on her menstrual. She's calmed down. So now she's going to be able to think a little bit more rational, right? And this woman, man, that filed for divorce, she isn't a rational thinker. She's delusional, and she's still immature. She's still immature. You've been married for 39 years. and you want to file for divorce, and you're 62 years old, you still think you have a shot in the dating game? You're delusional. You're delusional, and something's wrong with you, man. Something's wrong with you. All right? Whatever, man. Anyway, that's all I wanted to go into. Hope this was edifying. Anyways, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, and the belongest to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect, Kwam Yashala, and above the ball. Shalom.